Salvete omnes, ego sum Magister Sullivan. We're back with the Aeneid, Book 1, lines 50 to 63, and we meet a new character, Aeolus, King of the Winds. We'll start by, we'll do a little bit of scansion for line 50. All right, so remember, we're going to do long and long. So that one's going to be first of all, we have to look for elision. Do we see elision? There's no elision to be seen. So then we'd make this long, this short, and this short. Right, so that is our dectal line. Right, and then we're going to mark anything that is long or long by position long. So this is an M and a D, so this would have to be long too. And then we have short and short. So we have a dectal there. All right, so this would be a spondy, and this would be a spondy, and so we have a short and a short. So dactyl, spondy, spondy, dactyl. And then we have dactyl, spondy. Okay, so I'll try to do a scansion line for each one. The tool is not that great, but we'll do that. So let's clear the screen, right, and start with our translation. So the goddess, rolling over or turning over such things to herself or with herself, we've seen this before, in her inflamed heart. And then we're going to go down to here. So this should actually be long, but it's not in this context. Virgil changed it to meet the scansion line. So he came, or she came, right? Because it's the goddess, it's still talking about Juno. She came into the kingdom of the winds, a place or places pregnant or filled with raging winds, right? So raging winds, these are ablatives, so filled with raging winds. And the country that she came into is Aeolia. So here, King Aeolus, and we have in a vast cave, or in a large cave. Here's our head verb. He presses or oppresses the struggling winds and the resounding storms. We get the word tempest from this. By his command, or with his command. So this word imperio comes from the word imperium, which is command. Sometimes it's command in the military sense, and sometimes it's this kind of will to rule, or imperium. So we think about this often when we have people in charge. So Aeolus is in charge of his domain. His domain is the winds, so he's the commander of that. Aeneas will also have imperium. Augustus himself, as a slash general slash emperor, had command of the legions. Right, so this is something very familiar to the Romans. All right, back to it. And he restrains or reins in, again, the winds, the struggling winds. These are ablatives, so we're going to translate as with chains and in a prison. So in chains and in a prison. All right, so those winds resisting or struggling or restraining, perhaps, they rage, they roar, fremont, they roar, with a loud rumbling of the mountain around the barrier. I've also seen Montis go with claustra down here of the mountain. All right, so I think it's up for interpretation, but we see the magna cum murmurimontis, right? So we have catacum claustrum, so we have alliteration here. And so Aeolus sits in his lofty citadel. Notice how the lofty citadel sits around him. or I'm sorry, Aeolus holding. So this is our another participle, present participle, holding his scepter, sits in a lofty citadel, a lofty fortress, and he calms their minds or their souls and tempers um, their angers, their wrath. So we get the nature that the winds are quite dangerous. And here we get it further too. So if he does not do this, right? So if he does not do this, this is like Nisi. If he does not do this, then indeed um, the fast-moving winds, which is when T should be here, but it's taken out. It's kind of ellipsis or understood. So the rapid or the fast moving winds. This is a subjunctive verb. Yay. So Pharaoh means to carry. So this would mean they would carry. So this actually should be if he should not do this, they would, right? But we can translate fakiat as if they don't do this. The rapid winds, the fast moving winds, with themselves would carry away the seas and the lands and the deep sky or the profound sky, and they would sweep them up through the breezes. So again, this kind of shows the dangerous nature of these winds. All right, but pater omnipotens, but all powerful Father, the all powerful Father. Again, we have another um, participle fearing this, right? So this is referring to this devastating nature of the winds. So fearing this, hid the winds, hid Wentos, hid the winds in dark caves, or in a dark cave, right? And he imposuit, he put or placed. Notice the perfect tense of these verbs, right? Abdidit, hidden or hid, and um, put or placed or imposed, imprisoned. And then we have dedit, which is gave, right? Um, so he imposed, he put, and this is Jupiter, by the way, right? He put the mass of the lofty mountains, or a mass of the lofty mountains, uh, above them, right? One thing we should note about molem, molem is because actually for science thinkers, we get the word mole from this. So it's a mass of um, or substance, large matter, right? But so this is a noun, and this is a noun, so a mass of. It sounds more like it's, um, you know, massive, lofty mountain or massive, huge, tall mountain. This is called Hendiades. All right, it's a poetic device where two nouns are used together and one is used more like an adjective. And he gave them a king, or gave a king, meaning gave the king as being, or the ruler of the winds being Aeolus, who, having been ordered, right? So this is having been ordered, like by Jupiter, having been ordered in a certain contract or in a certain agreement, um, who would know both to press and to give the loose reins, right? So again, he's giving the winds Aeolus as their ruler, their king. And this is a clear reference to a charioteer and knowing how to, kind of treat the horses. Um, Again, to who would know, this is a subjunctive too, which we'll touch upon later. Who would know both to press and to give loose reins, right?